Hey everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be making a holiday card. Ellen Hutson is very honored to be participating in the blog hop for the Caring Hearts card drive, which collects and distributes handmade cards to the elderly during the holiday season. And there are a lot of prizes to be won for contributing your handmade card, so I hope you'll participate. Ellen Hutson is sponsoring the entire Essentials by Ellen stamp and die collection as a prize, so get your cards sent in. And I'm going to be making my card using the Cozy Christmas stamp set. I love the simple little folk art houses and trees. And I'm also going to be using a die set by My Favorite Things. This is the Snowdrifts die set. And you could use a number of landscape dies that are available. This is one I happen to have, so that's what I'm going with. And I just used one of the dies to cut apart a quarter sheet of Solar White. And then those are going to become my snowdrifts. And I just flipped the other portion over to get alternating directions of drifts. And this is going to be awesome for mass production because I'll have a consistent drift every single time on my panel. And there I'm just kind of marking the top part of the snowdrift onto a base card I've already made from some craft cardstock. And then I can line up the houses all in a row. Now you could stamp the houses separately, but when you're mass producing, this is going to really help speed things up to have them already, all mounted in place. And they're all going to land in the exact same spot every single time. So now I've got my houses there inked up with Hero Arts Unicorn White Pigment ink. This is my favorite white ink. It shows up so beautifully against colored cardstocks. And then once I've got all the houses stamped on the cards, I can go in and put the trees into position and get those mounted to the block and then ink those up again with the same white ink. And this is going to help me get consistency every single time. The positioning is going to be awesome and I don't have to think too much about it. So we'll get that in place and then get the little smoke coming out of the chimney because that's going to help create this cozy effect I'm going for. And then I'm going to clean the stamps off. So it's really important to clean your stamps off in between this step. So you want to ink up with a dye ink onto your clean stamps. And I'm going to use Lettuce by Adirondack Ranger. This is a great dye ink. I love this color of green. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to do all the trees, and then I'm going to come in and do the houses with red ink. This is red pepper, and it's just a very festive combination. Looks great against the white and the craft cardstock. And by cleaning off your stamp in between each inking, when you're adding the colored inks, you're going to avoid picking up any white ink and contaminating your dye ink pads. So I had a damp cloth there, and I just quickly rubbed. I didn't do a thorough cleaning. I just kind of quickly wiped off the stamps before I re-inked each time. Then that will just keep my ink pads nice and clean. No transfer occurring. So now I've got my snow drifts in place and just want to make sure I don't have any levitating, villages or levitating houses there in the neighborhood. And then I'll mount that first drift into place. And if I was off and didn't have long enough snow drifts, then I'd probably lop off the bottom of the base card. I've been known to do that when things don't quite line up, but this worked out just perfect. And then I'm going to take that top drift and stamp a greeting on the front of it. You want to do that while it's flat before you mount it into place. And it's going to get popped up. So that's why I wanted to make sure I got that stamped on before I proceeded with everything else. And I'm just going to add my glitter here at this point. I'm using a Zig two-way glue pen. I love the chisel nib on there for getting glue on those edges and then adding the sparkly glitter. You could also use Dazzling Diamond Stickles glitter. It's gorgeous and sparkly, and Prisma glitter is gorgeous and sparkly. And you can do that afterwards or you can do it now at this point. So I'm going to take some foam tape and mount a center row there and remove the liner papers from that row there before I remove the rest of the papers. And this way, if I don't get that on straight, I have some fudge room to pull that back off and reposition it. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers because my fingers are too big to get in there. And I don't have any fingernails anyway. So tweezers will get in there and do the job and get the rest of the liner papers off. And then I can take my bone folder. I should have done this before I mounted that layer, but I didn't think about it until afterwards. So just so you know, you probably want to go ahead and crease that before you mount that 3D layer. And then I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside because I think it's appropriate for this particular card. And then I'll take a scrap. I just felt like it needed just one more little thing. And so I had this scrap of paper left over from a previous project. And I was like, hey, that's perfect. So I just made it a little skinnier and angled off the end and then just determined how much adhesive I needed to put. I used mono multi glue there because very quick and easy, sets up nicely, and then trimmed it off. And then just for one last touch, I had to go grab my tiny attacher. And then I was a good girl and sat on my hands and left it alone. I think it turned out super cute. I hope you'll find some time to contribute some cards here before the deadline to the Caring Hearts card drive. It's a great cause. Thanks for watching.